What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and this one is one I've been looking to make, guys, for close to a year now. It's honestly, I can't believe after a year of playing a free-to-play account, you'll notice I'm on the free-to-play over here, still not even level 100, but after a year of playing, after the Hell Hades challenge last year, I have finally gotten my Mikage and gotten, where is she? My Lydia. Finally got my Mikage, finally got my Lydia, guys, and I just wanted to talk about it because this is kind of one of, I would say, the big milestones in any free-to-play account, right? When you finally get these two champions, you're finally able to fuse Mikage, you're finally able to beat all of the Faction Wars crypts and completely fill them out, and man, it's just crazy. I'll get into the builds and kind of what I'm doing with them. I haven't really had a chance to do too much, so there's not too much exciting stuff going on there, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what this journey has been like for me as a Raid player. As everybody knows, you know, I have been a huge spender in Raid on my main account from basically the moment I started playing the game. And I only ended up doing the Hell Hades free-to-play challenge last year because one of my viewers put me up for it. Like, I didn't even apply for it. They literally put me up for it, and next thing you know, I'm the captain of a team and I'm super into it, and I end up finishing third. And it was such a cool experience, and I've talked a lot about it in the past, but I never planned on continuing this account after I finished. That was really never part of the plan. But I had had such a good time playing a free-to-play account, and I also really liked the idea of challenging myself, that I said, you know what, I'll keep doing it. Why not? I'll keep doing it. And so here we are, about a year, and I want to say 3 months, 4 months, maybe a year and 4 months later, and I've finally gotten these two champions. Now, could I have done this faster? Absolutely. Like, when you're playing multiple accounts, when you're also doing other games at the same time, there's just not enough time in the day, plus a full-time job, of course. There's just not enough time in the day to push on this stuff. But I'm just happy that I managed to complete it all. And so let's talk for a second about Lydia first and foremost, because this was certainly the harder of the two. Mikage is about, frankly, getting lucky, saving your resources, whatever else. Lydia is the real achievement. And it's interesting, right? Like, this was surprisingly more difficult than I thought it would be. Even in 2025, where you have souls and you have champions that are stronger. And yeah, I was, you know, it wasn't like what I would call super hard, or anything like that, but it certainly took more time than I thought it would. And really what it came down to was you just never have enough silver to re-gear champions. You have to do it on free re-gear times, which have to line up with your crypts, which have to line up with whatever time you have available. But funny enough, the crypt is open right now. The crypt that I had the biggest challenge with, there were actually 3. Lizardmen was one of them. This was definitely a hard crypt for me. I don't have a lot of really great Lizardmen champions. You can't really see here, but I didn't want to level them up, I should say. But this is the team I managed to use to get it done. Yeah, it was definitely not an easy crypt. It was definitely one of the harder ones. One of the last ones I did. Funny enough, the hardest crypt for me overall, really the 2 hardest crypts, were Skinwalker was the last. I can't open it, unfortunately, but Skinwalker was the last crypt I did. And oh man, it was brutal. I do not have good Skinwalker champions at all. And this crypt, well, this is not true. I do have some good Skinwalker champions, but there is one specific problem with this Skinwalker champion. Gwendolyn is a great champion. This should have been a lot easier. But the problem was her passive, or her ability on her A1 kept extending all the debuffs on the boss, and that boss transfers all of those debuffs. So it was so brutal because I wanted to use this champion and I did end up making it work. But she kept extending the duration of these debuffs, and then they would get transferred to my team and I would just get wrecked, and I couldn't get enough damage out after the boss, because what he'll do is he'll transfer debuffs, then eventually he'll do a health swap with one of your champions, and then you have 12 turns to do enough damage to kill him, and it was such a pain in the ass. So this was the last crypt that I finished. And then funny enough, the other crypt that I actually had a decent amount of challenges with was the Shadow King crypt, which I also can't open. And it really just came down to that last boss. And like, I would say decent Shadow Kings. We got Ninja, you know what I mean? Caveat here, I I really did not want to rebuild champions, so that's why this was more difficult than it would have been. I definitely made it harder on myself not taking the time to actually rebuild. I didn't have Mikage, of course, but to not rebuild Ninja to specifically do better in this crypt. Really the thing that took me over the edge, or what helped me out, was I got Jintoro to level 6, or to 6 stars. And once I had that, I was able to beat that crypt. And once I had him kind of booked out, which I did also because I was like, oh yeah, I could totally use him for clan boss. But it was, man, such a cool thing that even now, 6 years into Raid, there's a lot of satisfaction that comes out of beating these crypts. And I'm really proud of myself for having done a free-to-play account to this point and gotten this done, and actually unlocked Lydia, which to me is like one of the hallmarks of being a free-to-play player. You know, one of the goals that you set out for yourself. So super, super, super stoked about that. Mikage, you know, like I said, Mikage was just a pain in the ass. I just could not get the right champions to fuse for her. Eshma was the last one that I was missing for the longest time, and then they did that guaranteed event, and I happened to have enough ancient shards, or not guaranteed, I should say, but the 10x, or progressive chance, 15x, and I happened to pull her on that one. And once I had her, that was the last piece of the puzzle. I fused everybody, grinded it out, used a bunch of resources to try to get Mikage done as quickly as possible. But here's what we've got build-wise. Neither of these builds are good. They're things I just threw together, frankly, last minute. You'll also notice there's a lot more to do. One of the biggest problems, and I've talked about this before, but one of the biggest problems I have on my free-to-play account is I just feel like I never have enough energy to get masteries done. Now, thankfully, this fusion is not, in my opinion, or this fragment summon for Ishiyama is not one that I am personally going for. He doesn't seem that great. So I'm trying to do as many masteries right now as I possibly can for both of these champions. But for Mikage, I just have her in a straight protection build. So she's not super fast. She doesn't have a ton of accuracy. The other big thing is that, damn, dude, these mythical books, bro, these mythical books are just impossible to get as a free-to-play player. I already know they're hard as a paid player, frankly, if you're not spending. Like, that's about the only way you get them as a paid player, unless you get them, like, you know, from doing Hydra. But holy crap, man, as a free-to-play player, this is just ridiculous how absurdly hard this is. It really sucks that Plarium makes it this asininely difficult to get something like this. Like, it's one thing for it to take time, but I feel like even time doesn't necessarily get you where you need to go for these books. And Mikage doesn't require necessarily a ton of these books compared to some other mythicals, and thankfully, like, her first form, really you only need this book to get maximum value out of her. This one is not a bad one to have either, but oof, just rough. Really hate that they make it like this. So I've got her in a protection build. I've only got, 6 pieces of protection on her. Again, the stats are pretty meh. You know, there's definitely a long way to go here, but even right now, she's already been helpful, and I haven't had a chance to incorporate her into any dungeon teams. I think the big area where she's going to help me first and foremost, certainly in Fire Knight. You know, she's an absolute star in Fire Knight. I still have to get to level 10 of Fire Knight hard. I haven't really pushed this, but she will help in that area for sure. So definitely in Fire Knight. Probably some other areas as well, actually. I'm trying to think where else I might use her. Could use her possibly in Dragons, could use her in some of these. Maybe use her in Iron Twins or something like that. I'll have to take a look at the teams. But for Fire Knight, for sure, she's going to be an absolute rock star. Then when we get to Lydia, oh, and of course, what am I talking about? The main area I'm going to use Mikage, I already started using her, of course, is in Chimera. So I've already incorporated her into my Chimera team. I haven't really taken the time to get this team up to snuff. I can only do like through Brutal, I think, at the moment. But now I have the champions to really do more, because the other champion, of course, that's going to be massive for Chimera is none other than Lydia. And Lydia is just a superstar. I've got her in a feral set for now. Nothing crazy, pretty ass build wise, right? This is, again, just something I threw on her with gear that I had laying around for the moment. So I'll need to go back and kind of maximize these builds over time. But same thing, you know, still missing masteries. Got to get all that stuff done. I do have, I guess, a Molten Death Bell on her, nice, but don't have her fully booked yet as well. We're like sitting on missing legendary books, so still some work to do here too. But man, she is going to be massive for me and already has been in Chimera and just in general content. So I plan on kind of revisiting a lot of my dungeon teams now that I have these two champions, and I was lucky enough to pull in a Crizia, which is huge. Like, I've got really kind of the makings of some great dungeon teams with the Crizia, Lady Mikage, Lydia, and also Grand Oak Podrick. I don't have a phenomenal reset champion, like, for example, you know, Prince Kaimar or Crixia or Yumiko. I think I have a Renegade that's about as good as I can do in that department. So definitely missing some of those things that make things faster for dungeons. I also don't have a Seer, which, you know, hurts, of course, for wave clearing. So I got to figure that out. I've been using Thor mainly in some of my wave stuff, or alternatively, I've been using Armons to clear some waves and just stun them out. But I'm excited because I feel like there's a lot of potential now with this account, you know, where I've crossed the threshold. And so then really it comes down to, how much longer do I want to play this, right? Like, how much more time do I want to put into the free-to-play account? Candidly, from a content creation perspective, free-to-play videos for me never do well. In fact, this video will probably get significantly less views than any other video I post this week on my main account. You know, people don't really watch me for free-to-play content, which totally makes sense. Although I will say I did free-to-play live arena the other day for, you know, a stream, and that was actually a lot of fun and people enjoyed that. So maybe I'll keep it around for that. But I guess the next big question is, do I decide to push for Ramantu? Because I was one of the people that fused Rosin, as you could see, and you know, now we're at this tag team arena goal, which frankly is, I think, one of the most difficult things you can do in this game is, can you make it to gold tag team arena on a free-to-play account? Super, super hard, especially because I haven't pulled a lot of really good arena champions. We'll take another look quickly. The other big question is, do I want to invest the time to get Marius? This is actually an easier thing than Ramantu for sure, but it still requires a lot of time. We're looking at a minimum of probably 6 to 8 months of time in order for me to get Marius, just based off my current schedule. You know, I'm not going to grind this account super hard. I still have my main account, and that's my main focus. So I guess I would love to hear from you guys. Do you want to see me continue this and try to get these two champions? I mean, this is the pinnacle of free-to-play player action. I think if you get Ramantu, you truly are a free-to-play god in some way, shape, or form, or insanely lucky, or you've just been playing the game for like 6 years when this mission was maybe a little bit easier. I feel like this mission is damn near impossible now. Certainly Marius more doable, but still requires a lot of time. So I guess, yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see me go for this stuff, if you even care remotely. And I'd also love to hear, when did you get your Mikage and your Lydia if you are a free-to-play player? So specifically interested in what that looks like for the other people out there. So again, it took me, for reference, I played the Hell Hades Challenge, started that in, I think, late January last year, if I remember correctly, in 2024. And I got my Mikage at the end of April. So yeah, so about a year and 3 months to get Mikage and Lydia. And I got them at the same time. I got them in the last, whatever the last summon rush was. So I guess a week or two ago, whatever that was. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing really to show you here. I haven't had a chance, like I said, to incorporate them into any teams, but just wanted to kind of note this accomplishment, and also note that it felt pretty freaking sweet to finally get it done after all this time and energy put into this account. And hey, look, we're at 69% of the way to the 96 level. Very nice. You know what? It wouldn't be a Drock video without me eating a shard for no reason. Horrible idea to do this on a free-to-play, but sometimes you just gotta say fuck it and eat the shard. And yep, that's exactly what we expected. So after getting owned on the main account trying to go for Fina, it's nice to know that we're going to get owned here as well. And I'm completely out of shards. Completely out of shards. Actually, funny enough, oh, I just got a point for Summon Rush. Look at that. I actually should probably push. I should probably try to get these chickens. I got 1, 2 Lego books here. How many? What am I at? 5,100? 5,100 points, and I've got a solid 2,800 mystery shards. So I could, hypothetically, at 5,100, push all the way up to get this chicken without a problem. 7,900 basically is where I'd cap out. So I could get this chicken. It would take a asinine amount of time, and that's why I'm probably not going to do it, because frankly, it's too much time. You know what I mean? Pulling 10 shards at a time, 10, 10, 10. If they let you do 100, maybe be a little bit easier. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this free-to-play content. Let me know if you think I should continue this account, if you really don't give a shit, if you enjoyed the free-to-play live read I did the other night, or if you missed it, maybe you would enjoy watching it. So just curious to hear what you think. And again, would love to know when you guys got your Mikages, your Lydias, if you are a free-to-play player, and even your Ramontus and Mariuses. So just would love to know kind of what else is out there. And again, there's plenty of people who have done this way faster. But for me, playing this account like at 60% of my capacity, I would say this is pretty damn good, and I'm proud and I'm happy that I did it. And certainly gratifying. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. It's been Big Papa Drock, and I am out.